Oh, that's a fish. Yep. Try to bite my fingers off. You can see there the bait and the hook just in the corner of its mouth. Hello, good morning and welcome back to On The Hook. Today I'm heading out from the south coast of Cornwall on my 17-foot boat and we're going wrecking. I'm going to be trying some of the offshore wrecks. Not quite a long steam to go today. These are some big wrecks that I've never tried before. It's worth a try. We have got a little bit of wind, as you can see. It's just a ripple and we should have wind and tide together when we get there. Just depends what's happening offshore. The first order of the day is hopefully to try and find some bait. As I'm steaming out there, I'm hoping I can find a shoal of mackerel or scad. If not, when I get there, I will try and drift around for some whiting or some pouting. But the target is big fish on wrecks. Let's go. I've got almost to the wrecks that I'm going to, and so far I've found no mackerel. Mackerel have been quite scarce at the moment. Found a few little patches of bait fish, but just nothing in them, so I'm assuming it was tiny white and tiny like white baits. So all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to fish a set of feathers with a little strip of frozen mackerel on. That's it. That's how complicated it is. It's just baited feathers. But I am fishing in 77 metres and with a drift of a knot. I'm using 12 ounces of lead and yeah, lead ends up all the way over there before I even reach the bottom. We have got wind, well, we're a little bit early. Wind against tide at the moment. We've got just the last of the tide going in that direction and the wind going in this direction. So I'm going to drift around and catch some bait, wait for the tide to turn and then anchor up. I might try and drift the wreck, just depends how fast we're drifting. What I'm fishing for at the moment is whiting. Do that a few more times and we'll get some bait. All I'm doing now is I'm mapping the wreck. It's the first time I've ever been here, so this is the wreck. Now look, I'm just coming back onto it now. And I'm just mapping it out with waypoints so I know the shape of the wreck. Now that I've mapped out the wreck and I know roughly what size it is on the chart, I'm going to try drifting it with some of them baited feathers. It is risky business drifting on a wreck with baited feathers because you're going to get snagged, but it's the best way to tell how healthy the wreck is. If there's no little tiny fish on the wreck, there'll be no big fish on the wreck. So I'm looking for things like pouting, whiting, poor cod. I might even have a drift over it afterwards with a lure to try and see if there's any pollock on it. And then we've got the last of the tide and we'll get the anchor down. That's the plan. Oh my word, that is a monster cuckoo wrasse. Not what we're after though, but to start, there's a fish. Good pollock. Let's go and get the anchor down. Anchoring up in 75 metres of water. 75 metres, probably 230 feet. That means that I'm going to have to be putting out around about 500 to 550 feet of rope. I keep mine in different coils. I have a coil in a bin. Now if I can give you any advice, it would be that before you throw your anchor over the side, pull your anchor rope out, because no matter how you coil it, it will knot up. So you're better off now, well, before you've got an anchor over the side, pulling your rope out and making sure there's no knots in it. See it happen loads of times when they go like that, you get 40 feet away and then a big knot comes past and they're like, So yeah, pull your anchor rope out first, make sure there's no knots, get it laid out, then shoot it over the side. Just seeing if there's any pollock above the wreck. Yeah, big old fat pouting's got hold of it. Oh, that's a fish. Oh, well, first fish. That's a conger eel of about, I would say, mid-teens. Oh, he well and truly has chewed that trace up. Not a bad fish though, is it? There you go. Oh well, that's the first fish down, isn't it? Hopefully they're going to start to get a bit bigger. Don't know what this is, it's just running straight to the boat. I think I'll be lucky if this one's in double figures. There you go. The smaller fish are often harder to unhook because you use the fish's own weight. It's got less weight. Yep. Because you're fishing right in the wreck. The first few feet are crucial because that fish wants to be back inside the wreck. Bit of colour. This one looks like a ling. Yep. A nice big ling. And it's in the boat. Trying to bite my fingers off. You can see there the bait and the hook just in the corner of its mouth. That was a 10-0 octopus hook with a whiting. A cracking ling. I've had to re-anchor on the wreck. It's not uncommon to have to re-anchor a few times during a tide, just as the wind conditions change or the tide changes. And I'm just trying to set us back onto the wreck now. We've just come up onto it. The first bait I always drop down when I'm swinging onto a wreck. It's just a one hook wrecking rig, because the lowest thing is the lead, so I can bounce it along. So as we're drifting along, it's not going to hitch up as much. If you're going to fish a running ledger that's dragging a hook along the bottom, chances are you're going to get snagged up. Been really finicky today though. So how long do you leave them? Well, I got it. Oh, but it wants to be back down there. This Marquesa 20, I am impressed with it. Got some serious pulling power. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's got some wounds up his side though. I think the bigger boys have been taking bites out of him. Yeah, smaller stamper eels. You got to fish through the small ones to get to the big ones. This is the rig that's been doing the business today. It's just a very simple one hook paternoster, or a one hook wrecking rig. I just use 150 pound mono, and that is a 10-0 hook. Chinook hook or octopus hook, they both work the same. And I like a Muppet. I think it adds a bit of attraction and also added abrasion resistance. Now at the moment, we haven't got very much tide. We are in currently 68 metres of water. So I'm using a 10 ounce of lead. But yeah, that's it. Nothing complicated. That's what's been doing the business today. The running ledger has found a fish, but the wrecking rig has found more of them. This suspends a bait up off the bottom, well, a few inches off the bottom, so this generally picks up the ling, whereas the running ledger is tight on the bottom. That's what picks up the conger. Another nice big ling. This here, the same as like a diver suffering from barotrauma from the bends. When you come up from depth, if you can't equalise the pressure out quick enough, it inflates. A little bit of air down there turns into a lot of air up here. So that's a swim bladder. Swim bladder's blown on the inside and it's created that air. Now, these fish, by the time they hit the surface, they're gone, they're dead. But the plus side of that being, they are fantastic eating fish. And ling is delicious. As you can see, the conditions have picked up as forecast. I've tidied down, I'm just going to go and pull the anchor up. I've really enjoyed myself. It's been hard work today. I mean, the fishing, brand new wreck, never tried it before. You've got to be happy at that. We've got a couple of fantastic eating ling. Some nice congers. They weren't as big as I was wanting, but then again, you've got to fish through the small ones to get to the big ones. Rigs were just really simple and strong, and my setup today, I'll tell you what, you're going to see more of this. It's the first time I've properly used this wrecking for conger and ling, and yeah, it's an absolute winch. I'm going to have a gentle steam back into the weather, which is always fun. I hope you enjoyed joining me. All the very best. See you later. That fish had been playing with that for like 5 minutes.